I went in a sidecar.
Like Wallace and Gromit?
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like.
You were Gromit then?
I was in the sidecar.
Welcome to Business Growth Central with the Bottles.
The father and son's team who built dozens of seven-figure businesses
And generated over £100 million in sales.
And since 2010, we've run Entrepreneur Circle, the UK's largest organisation helping businesses to grow.
Every week, we're sharing practical tactics,
Swipeable strategies.
And powerful nuggets to help you to grow your business. This is Business Growth Central.
with the Bottles.
Hey, welcome back to Business Growth Central. As always, I'm Nigel Bottrell, founder of Entrepreneur Circle.
I'm Cameron Bottrell, Managing Director here at Entrepreneur Circle.
And I'm Elliott Bottrell, Chief Marketing Officer here at Entrepreneur Circle.
Woo, let's get stuck into some business growth, shall we?
Ooh, say.
Hoorah!
Let's do it. Gosh, welcome back.
Thank
Yes.
Gotta say, I said, you're looking a bit crispy. This was
you. So it was sunny.
healthy glow.
It was nice.
Tell the people where you've been.
I've been to Malaysia. Yeah, which I've not been before. One of the countries on my list. I have a long list. A lot of places I want to go, and that was one of them. So I started in Singapore. That's an amazing place, you know.
No.
You should get to Singapore.
I hear it's very clean.
It was very clean. Yes, there was, and there's like no crime either, because like everything is on CCTV. I literally like one of the headlines. someone had been like remapping their scooter to make it a bit more powerful, and this was a front page story on a newspaper when we were there, because that's like the extent of the crime. It was really fascinating place. Such a dynamic place, and all the ships. Oh my God, I couldn't believe all the ships. It was like I felt like I was an observer at what felt like how it must have been on the 6th of June in Normandy in 1944. There were so many ships, and it turns out 44% of global trade sails through Singapore.
Really?
And honestly, all these things, they're big fuckers. These are not little ships, these are big ships.
Wow.
What ships? Yeah,
What a business going on.
it was great, and I went in a sidecar.
In a side,
Another first.
like Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was like. Hey, I mean, I had
You
to
Wallace
say,
or Gromit?
I had to
You were Gromit then.
I was in the sidecar. I had to be kind of crowbarred in and kind of crowbarred out, but that was great. I had a little tour around Singapore in sidecars. I can recommend that if you're going to Singapore. It was a really cool thing. But it's good to be back.
Yes.
Had a great day in Mastermind yesterday.
Fabulous.
That
Yes.
was Mastermind coming to the end of the 2025 chapter now, but a couple of really great sessions yesterday.
Oh, go on. What happened?
But it's interesting. The one member has a clinic, a salon, a lot of aesthetic treatments and beauty treatments and things, and was absolutely revelationary, because the big thing, her big goal for this lady is to extract her from doing the treatments. That's a common kind of thread for lots of businesses, right? The business owner wants to be able to run the business and have choices. We're going to get them out of the business. And we started to, and she's always been reluctant to employ someone to effectively replace her, because obviously to do that, what happens, you know how the worst thing you can do as a small business owner is think like a small business owner. So what you think, oh, you're going to employ someone to replace me. My income is going to take a hit because I've got to pay them and there'll be no money left for me. And what we did was just sit down and map out what the capacity of her salon would be if she's got someone full-time doing the treatments that she is having to dip in and work through now. And we run through the numbers. Honestly, they were absolutely staggering. We had to get the tissues out.
No.
It was that emotional realization for her as to how there's this kind of
Really
mental...
the bar is that it's been a good mastermind when at least a few people cry.
Yeah, that is truer than you realise, to be honest.
The intensity of
It
business.
was a very emotionally charged day, so it was good. So back in the saddle. But I'm looking forward to today.
Yeah, it reminds me. Do you remember the opticians when I remember I think it was an inner circle session when we did the maths and worked out that actually they hadn't hired any more optometrists.
Yes.
Because actually they couldn't get them out of London.
Yes.
Everyone was like based in London and they're a bit further away.
kind of, yeah.
And we worked out the increased capacity and what that does for the business to have this optometrist there.
Yes.
We could afford to pay them
Yes.
like almost double what they were earning.
We could
from
put them up in the Ritz.
yeah, and send a Rolls Royce to
Absolutely.
Surfer and drive them up there, and it would still make tremendous sense.
And a lot of it is interesting, and you know, for a lot of businesses, just being able to sit down and understand, right, what is my capacity constraint? This is what we did yesterday. We looked at, well, what's the capacity constraint in this business? And it isn't the physical space. She's got lots of treatment rooms and all different, lots of kit and everything else. So her capacity constraint is the people to deliver the treatments. And so we looked at her model. She's got 2 staff work with at the moment. Obviously, she's the 3rd deliverer or doer of the treatments. So what if we replaced you with someone full-time? Because what she was doing at the moment is she's got someone who comes in a couple of Tuesdays a month. So to give her a little bit of time, I said, well, what if we actually committed to this? What if we actually brought somebody in full-time, appropriately qualified with all the skills to replace you? What would that do to the capacity of the salon? And that's when the tissues came out. I'm on the whiteboard, I'm just working it through, what's the average spend, how long does the treatments last, how many appointments could we do a week at this average price, what would that mean? And it's absolutely game-changing. I mean, she's already doing, just to be clear, this lady is already earning high, decent 6-figure income that she's earning, but actually it gets very, very close to 7 figures if she does the right thing, once she understands the capacity breakthrough. And it's that depth of thinking, because that's the beauty of things like Mastermind, when we actually are able to just sit in a room without any distractions, and you've got lots of decent brains focus on the same issue, then actually all really good solutions come out and Kleenex shares go up, which is a good
Fantastic. Yes. I mean, you shed any tears this week, Elliott? A business owner needs help. Oh.
Goodness me.
Let's see who sent in their scroll this week.
If it's come from Singapore.
Goodness, it's from Tom.
Hello, Tom.
Tom says, I run a marquee hire business. I get a decent number of inquiries for weddings, for events, but hardly any of them are turning into actual bookings. People seem keen, but then they disappear or end up going elsewhere. How do I convert more of these inquiries into paying customers? That's Tom's question. Wow.
That's a good question.
It's a good question, and I think we can all agree it has a pretty straightforward answer.
Yep.
Yeah, there is. Yeah.
Shall we align? Should we say it together on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3.
Follow up.
That didn't work very well. What did you say?
Speed.
What did you say?
Follow up.
Positioning.
Guys, no. The speed. Okay, right. You know what? Let's do this. Let's each help Tom. Let's start. Speed. I think that the biggest needle mover, the thing that's going to shift most businesses' conversion rates, isn't actually any other stuff other than speed.
Okay, right. Before we get into that, and we should get into that for Tom, because I do accept that will be an element. But let's just get up in the helicopter for a moment and let's look at what's happening. If I've interpreted Tom's question right, okay. So because you said he's getting a decent number of inquiries,
Yes.
so he's got lead flow.
He's got leads coming in.
That's quite important. So we just start breaking this down. How you build a business successfully. So every business needs inquiries or lead flows. We've got to get people coming. So he's got lead flow. So this is not a marketing challenge.
Doesn't sound like him.
For Tom as such. But what he's got then, because he said hardly any of them, was that what we said was the words? What did he say?
Yeah.
Hardly any of them are turning into actual bookings. So he's getting the leads, but he's got a conversion problem. So that's what so just to map out clearly, we should focus on the conversion. So he's got lead flow. There is a possibility that the leads are not appropriate to his business. That he's attracting the interest of people who are either not real prospects because they're not going to hire a market, or else they are people who are not in his particular segment of the market. So there's a little caveat to what we're going to say. But if we assume that his lead flow is decent quality, we'll make that assumption, then this is a conversion issue. And you're saying speed of response,
That's the one.
which is absolutely right. You said
Follow up.
which is massive, so I get that. And my take is on this is all about positioning. So let's break them down then. Okay, do that.
Let's dive in. But it's a bit like your master in terms of identifying your constraint.
Yes.
Capacity was a constraint. How do you focus on that? You don't need to worry about anything else to sort the capacity out. And in this case, lead flow's fine. There's no point stressed about your Facebook ads if the constraint is your conversions
Yes.
of your inquiries.
Yes.
And in that regard, speed. Speed is king, right? Nothing impacts your conversion rate more than the speed at which you respond
Yeah.
to your inquiries.
true.
The stats are almost fanciful. They're crazy. And the difference between responding within 1 minute of getting an inquiry and even responding in like 20 minutes, which most people would be like, 20 minutes? That's so speedy. Oh my goodness. But the difference in the conversion rate there is like tenfold. It's outrageous. And I think if I could instill a gift into every business, it would be the ability to actually engage with, respond to, and follow up with your leads and inquiries basically instantly.
Yeah. So, Tom, we talk a lot at Entrepreneur Circle about what we call the golden 10 minutes. And what that is about is if you, or when you, are able to respond properly to a new incoming lead within 10 minutes, what you will find is that your conversion rate of those leads ultimately goes up significantly. And that, the 10-minute goal is a really good one. And it requires a lot of adjustment in the business. You know, you need, there almost needs to be, you know, we have our little alarm on this on this broadcast, and you can only one of those, like there's a lead coming, woo, woo, woo. It's like stop what you're doing, and there's like a pecking order. So ideally, Elliott responds to the leads, but if he's not available, you respond to the leads. If you're not available, I respond. But someone's getting back to a new inquiry within 10 minutes, because the golden 10 minutes is a big difference.
You know, I think we say that safe in the knowledge that it's not easy to do because we're all doing loads of other stuff. But to tie it back to, you know, the opticians even, I reckon in almost every business, any decent business, and like a marquee high business like this, almost certainly, if you run the numbers through, if you test it and just like commit to responding to your leads as quickly as humanly possible, within 10 minutes, ideally within 5 minutes, instantly, within 1 minute, and see what happens with the conversion rate, the maths, I bet, will check out that actually you can afford to hire someone whose only job in the business is to sit there by the phone or by the computer, and their job is to literally do nothing other than wait for a lead to come in and then instantly deal with it.
And what happens is, what you'll find, I remember David Brown of the Scottish Shutter Company telling me this. He came through Mastermind, and we talked about the golden 10 minutes in Mastermind, and he committed to responding to every lead. They're a shutters business, and they committed to responding to every inquiry within 10 minutes. And he said what happens is you reply, and often it is within seconds, in truth. You know, the lead comes in, someone's on the phone, and what happens is you call them up, and they're like so shocked.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, I only just filled the form in. He said, well, that's the level of service you can expect from the Scottish Shutter Company. And what it does straight away, I mean, literally out of the gate, you've just started to differentiate yourself.
Yeah, well,
and elevate.
There's so many reasons why it works. Yeah. And of course, yes, it's actually a whole big positioning piece in itself, like you said, because the fact that you're so on it and so able to, you know, do that is itself such a credibility builder. It instills so much trust in you because you've clearly got, you know, going on. Also, it means that you get in often before anyone else has had the chance. And with something like a marquee hire, the way that most people hire a marquee is they Google probably marquee hire, Solihull Hall. You know, they probably open in a new tab, like the first 3 or 4 options they see, have a quick scroll, that looks good, fill in the details there, fill in the details there, fill in the details there, bosh. And if you can respond to your inquiries and your leads miles before anyone else has, and the beauty all of us have, the wonderful gift that the world of entrepreneurs has given us is that most people are so bad at replying to their inquiries. And it takes so long. And anyone who's inquired about anything will be able to resonate with this. Because, you know, when we were, you know, doing up our house and looking for all sorts of different tradespeople and this and the other, oh my God, it's so, you fill in all these forms, you call them, you just get voicemails, things like that. It's like, oh yeah, well, we'll get back to you. And it's like 2 weeks later you get back. No, what are you talking about? Like, what's going on? And so I think the speed is so crucial there. Also, you catch people whilst they're in the frame of mind to make that decision. This is something we see a lot in our business because, you know, a lot of our ads are much more interruptive than, you know, people searching for what we do.
But for Tom, people are searching for what he's got.
People are searching for what he's got, but they're searching for the marquee, and then going about their day, going about their life. They're not sat waiting to sort out this marquee issue before they do anything else. And so if you can get in touch with people
In 10 minutes, Tom's not been in touch.
whilst they're still in the mindset of let's sort out this marquee, then you're going to be able to actually progress the conversation a lot further than you would have following up with them. Not least of which because you'll find your answer rate, if you're calling people up, is so much higher when you get in touch with them straight away because they're right there doing it. Almost everyone's inquiring on their phone. You can call them instantly. The device they're holding rings, and so you're more likely to get in touch.
So, would your advice to Tom be that he should try and ring his leads straight away? That's your main play here.
My main play
Speed of
is that
response.
when a lead comes in, I would call them instantly.
Yeah.
And then, even if they don't answer, I'd then be sending an email, maybe even a text message that's just say, "Hey, got your inquiry? Would like to discuss this."
Or,
Oh God.
or, WhatsApp.
Yes.
No, genuinely, because again, as business, we have to think about this. We have to, the more we can meet our customers or our prospects where they are, the more effective our conversion journey will be. And lots of Tom's customers will be, because most people are these days, regular, frequent users of WhatsApp. People are very comfortable using WhatsApp. Lots of people now, especially the younger generation, but there's a lot of people who would much rather don't want to talk to somebody, but they will absolutely have a conversation through WhatsApp. And actually, Tom, we've got a very successful marquee business in Entrepreneur Circle, based down in Hertfordshire, and WhatsApp is a significant part of their business. And in fact, if you go to their website, what you'll find is the WhatsApp button is highly prominent on their website, and they actually encourage people to effectively submit their inquiry through WhatsApp. And when that happens, the smart way for Tom to respond would be to reply on WhatsApp rather than actually ringing him up initially. So that WhatsApp's a key piece.
Yeah, I know a very successful company that are a very big company, do many millions of dollars per month because they're based in the US. And whenever someone inquires with them, they take this to the nth degree. Because this happened to me when I put in an inquiry for their business. And within 5 minutes, I had a text message, I had an email, I had a WhatsApp, I had an Instagram DM, and I had a message on LinkedIn, all from the same sales rep. And it was a very nice message.
Was it? That feels a bit overwhelming.
Well, the crux of the message is, I appreciate I'm very busy. I've messaged you everywhere I can find you. Let me know what your preferred channel is, and we'll talk now.
Okay, nice.
And so they cover bases because they're demographic. Yeah. They know they use all these different platforms. And so they don't leave any stone unturned, and they allow you to choose your channel of preference. Because you are right, like if you try and push people into a communication channel they're not a fan of, you're instantly going to lose those people. Okay. And such is the way.
Yeah. So speed's the first thing for Tom.
Speed is absolutely the first thing.
And again, then that speed of response, Tom, it's not just about the initial the initial response to the lead or inquiry when it comes in, but it's to subsequent interactions as well. Yeah. You just want to get in the habit of being very responsive because people do appreciate that.
Yeah, I think too many businesses think that it's okay to respond in like a day or two to a prospect, to someone who might be a customer. And if you have fallen into that trap of being fine and accepting that level of speed in response times, that's perfectly fine, but just know that you're missing out
your conversion rate
on so many customers because your conversion rate will be lower.
It's like everything in business, and in truth, everything in life comes at a price. And the price of taking 24 hours to respond to someone will be a lower conversion rate unless people come through. So, okay, so I'll give you speed. That's a good one.
Yeah.
If we I think there's about a little bit of chronology here. Can I go next? Is that
Please.
okay?
All right. I will allow it.
Thank you. Because my kind of woman was, this is all about Tom's positioning. Because he talks about how people sound keen initially, but then they are disappearing or going with someone cheaper, for instance. So Tom's got a really important role to play here in positioning himself in the right way. And positioning is quite multifaceted, Tom. And the first thing I would tell you, I'm running an event this weekend for young entrepreneurs.
Yes.
I have a whole bunch, like 60 or 70 young people between the ages of 14 and 23 coming here to Entrepreneur Circle HQ, and I'm going to spend the day with them. We're going to talk about and discuss becoming an entrepreneur and create that option. But one of my kind of key kind of points that I want to talk to them about this weekend, and I want to talk to Tom about it as well. And it took me quite a long time to realise this, Tom. And but what I've discovered, and I promise you this is absolutely true in business, and especially in the marquee market, Tom, it will be very, very prominent, is that when you are enthusiastic and passionate, people want what you've got. And when you are responding swiftly, because speed matters, to these leads and inquiries that are coming in, Tom, if your response is appropriately excited for their events, I can't wait to hear about it. And this will be difficult, Tom, because it's just another marquee for you, and you've done dozens and dozens of marquees already this year, and so you're in the, it's not actually exciting for you, Tom, but your trick, and you've got to do this sincerely, it can't be fake, but your trick is to be excited about their event, because I think you mentioned a few minutes ago, people are not really hiring the marquee. The marquee's that's not the end point.
They're throwing a party.
It's
They're
just,
getting people
that's
together.
the point. Or there's a wedding or event.
Yeah.
So get excited, Tom. Get enthusiastic. Give them, oh, that sounds amazing. Goodness me, how fantastic. You've got to, there's an art to this, because as I say, the last thing we do is appear completely kind of false. But we can all think about people that we've met, whether it's business owners or salespeople, who've made us feel like they really do care, that they're really with us on this. And that'll be a really important part, Tom, of your conversion. Because the old adage, and you know this, Tom, people buy people. Yep. Okay, and if people are coming and talking to you initially, which you told us they were, and they're keen initially, and they're going somewhere else, part of the problem, Tom, is you, my friend, all right? Because you're in the conversations and they start off really, really well, but they're ending really, really badly. You're fucking it up, Tom. So we've got to get this right. So a little bit of the whole enthusiasm, the excitement, the passion is an important part of the positioning there. That's the first thing. The second thing I would urge Tom to do, because again, we talk more broadly as business owners. As a business owner, we know our thing really, really well. So, and we know, and Tom will be able to instantly, when someone's, I'm looking to do a wedding for, 70 people, in this garden or in this field, Tom has instantly computed exactly what they need. Okay, but that's a problem, Tom, because you've got to bring them with you on that, because they've got to understand what they need and why they need it. And all your knowledge and experience and expertise that you've got from all the years in this business, you've actually got to find a way to share that with them. And so you getting to the solution quickly is actually unhelpful for you when it comes to increasing your conversion, because you've got to position the thing properly. And what that means you've got to do, Tom, is this is slightly ironic, because having responded really quickly, what I then want you to do, Tom, is slow down. And I actually I don't want you to jump to the conclusion and go, so it's a 3-minute conversation. Yes, bang, bang, that's the price. Off we go. I want you to slow down, Tom. And what I want you to do in an excited, enthusiastic way is I want you to find out and get them talking about their event and find out what their plans are, what they're looking to do, and go way beyond the level of information that you need to provide the right solution. Get into, find out about the people and ask the right questions, show a real interest, but find out what their plans are. And also, Tom, as part of that, as part of you slowing down and doing this properly, find out in the initial conversation what their timetable is for making a decision. Because a lot of people will be inquiring for a marquee. They've no intention of actually booking the marquee this week or next week or even next month. But we're just getting our option. Now you need to know, Tom, what their timetable is, because you are going to have to operate on their timetable, not on your timetable. And if you don't know what their timetable is, because you didn't ask, because you got straight to the answer, well, there's thing, and no, they're all going quiet. And I'm going, fuck it, that's because you didn't pay enough attention, Tom. You didn't get excited about their event. You didn't get the depth of understanding that you needed to do a really good job. So
Yeah, and I think that whole little discovery phase, for lack of a better name,
that's a good phrase.
I think is really important in a business like this. Actually, you know, it's when you were describing that, it made me think back to when I got my kitchen, right? And simply inquire with loads of different kitchen places.
Yeah.
And this is transferable across so many different business types. But you go in, you talk to them, and some people just face like a slapped ass, couldn't be bothered to see you.
Yeah.
Like, oh, another flipping kitchen. Okay, how many drawers do you want here? How many this do you want here? How about that? But the people that make you get excited, the people who make the decision to say yes easy, are the ones who come in, are excited about your project, and they don't ask you, you know, oh, how many drawers do you want here? It's like, right, tell me about how you cook. What meals do you do? What is there? And they then, as the expert, can say, oh my gosh, you absolutely must have this corner unit here. This is great. Da-da. And what you'll find is that when you understand the person and then use your expertise to prescribe a solution rather than just price up their first instinct,
Yeah.
the people will be much more bonded to your expertise and knowledge and the package that you put together.
Yeah.
And whether that's the marquee and talking about all the different flooring. If someone comes to you with a wedding and you're like, how many people, how much of a party is this going to be, you know, how much dancing, this and the other, like, oh, okay, we absolutely must lock in this flooring because it looks so good in the pictures, this and that. If they're going to someone else and they don't mention how the floor looks in the photos for your wedding album and stuff like that, they're more likely to go with you because they feel safe in the knowledge that you've actually thought more about what's going on, and so they feel like the risk is a lot less there. And it's true with when I got my suit done for my wedding, right? I tailor-made suit, all that sort of stuff, right? Thank you. This is not it. But even then, like, the reason that was an easy decision was because that initial session, he was like, right, looking at you and what you want here, you need this many buttons, and we need this level of styling, and you want this length sleeve, because otherwise this goes there. And I'm like, gosh, I hadn't even thought of all this stuff, but that's clearly the right thing to do. And so that makes the buying decision
and it's about
so easy.
taking that interest to work it through. And a third element on positioning, Tom, for you would be to invest £12 on Amazon and make sure and then properly study, and I use the word carefully, not read, study the book They Ask You Answer by Marcus Sheridan. And what that will do, Tom, when you do that, it will trigger a piece of work that you'll need to do and you'll want to do on your website, because what you'll want to do is create quite a large set, dozens, two or three dozen articles that specifically address the questions that your potential customers have. And this will be very, very helpful to you, Tom, when it comes to increasing your conversion rate, because it'll start to bring in, it'll make sure that lead quality, that either people are these the right prospects for you, the right people that will find you, and they'll come a lot more ready and prepped to buy because they've taken the time. Because what will happen is a lot of them, if the articles are done properly, and you do need to follow. Yeah, that's why you need to study Marcus's book, not just read it, but study Marcus's book and actually implement the whole They Ask You Answer strategy properly. That will have a dramatic impact on your conversion rate. Because, and I know that, Tom, because I've seen it in literally hundreds of businesses over what is 5 or 6 years now. We've brought Marcus across. He's an American guy. You mustn't hold that against him, Tom. His business that he started out in was swimming pools. You mustn't hold that against him, Tom. What he's got to talk about is highly relevant for you as a marquee provider, and it's highly relevant specifically to increasing and improving your conversion rate. So that's why, gentlemen, I will give you the positioning.
Not bad.
Enthusiasm, showing interest, find out what their plan is, what their timetable is, and they ask you answer.
Doing it all with tremendous speed as well. Gosh. All right then, Senor follow-up.
So, the follow-up.
Sorry, before you start, you just want, I'm giving you thinking time. I'm being helpful. We had a graphic on the one of the walls in our previous building. We didn't bring this graphic with us. Maybe we should have done. And it said, "Don't fuck up the follow-up." And
Very
Tom,
profound.
I suspect you're fucking up the follow-up.
The vast majority of business owners that I have seen greatly underestimate the volume of follow-up that they need to do.
Say that again. That's so profound. That is like really significant. Because, dear listener, whoever you are, whatever business you're in, this applies to you.
The vast majority of business owners greatly underestimate the level of volume required in their follow-up.
Wow. Get that on the wall. Get that on t-shirts.
That's feeling a nice chest piece tattoo there. But no, it's very true, because you go through all the hard work of getting leads. And if I'm honest, my thesis as to why this happens is when you start out in business, you get a lot of referrals, your friends, your family, your initial customers. And so people kind of recommend people to you. And we all know referrals are a fantastic type of business because they already know, like, and trust you. And so they just convert straight away. They're very responsive and they get back to you. And this kind of hardwire trains your brain to think that actually one follow-up email is good enough to get a response. And then you're hit with a cold, hard dose of reality when you start generating leads from other sources and realize that they're not responding. And so, in again, the vast majority of cases, the reason why you're not converting enough inquiries is because not enough effort is going into the follow-up. And normally, the lack of effort is on the volume, not because you're actually doing the follow-up wrong.
Yeah.
So we know, for example, in our business, the vast majority of sales happen after the 5th follow-up. And in a lot of other businesses, it can take even longer. Yeah. And so you want to really, really go hard on follow-up. And I mean, just as an example, we ran a campaign just a couple of days ago. And for the 72 hours after the campaign, we send 6 emails a day. We send multiple WhatsApps.
Emails a day.
6 emails per day. Multiple WhatsApps, SMSs, and we phone them up as well.
Because that will make people will be very uncomfortable hearing that.
Exactly. And that is...
Because you want to be a welcome guest, not an annoying pest, don't you?
Exactly, which is why the beating heart of our follow-up is value-based follow-up. That is useful. And making it very easy for people to opt out should they not want to hear. But I would much rather have too many touch points and risk annoying someone ever so slightly than to not have enough. Because we know the more touch points we get, the more conversions we will drive through.
And that's the key thing. And this is not about just because these 6 emails. I'm not saying buy now, buy now. Why haven't you bought yet? Please buy now.
I'll tell you what's funny. I'm rewatching a I say very old series. It's an old series. The Newsroom, which is an old American Aaron Sorkin series about, anyway, it's set in the early 2000s, and I bring it up because
The good old days.
the good old days. But it's so funny because in the episodes they'll be like out at a bar and someone's phone will ping, and the guy next to him goes, "Who's emailing you at this time of night?" And I'm like, the very fact that your phone pings when you get an email and you stop and check and look at the email is so wildly different from where we are now in terms of email and how it works. And I think in terms of follow-up, if emails were a currency,
Yes.
they have devalued massively
Okay, that's
over
true.
the last few years. And actually, 3 or 4 emails today is the equivalent of 1 email a few years ago. And actually, they're so easy to ignore, so easy to get buried that actually, you're right, business owners they sweat and panic that they've sent out, more than 1 email in a week. Some people, more than 1 in a month. Some people will be stressing out, saying, "Oh, I'm annoying people." But our prospects aren't paying as much attention as we wish they would do to the stuff we're putting out there. And, if your open rate on an email is even a tremendously healthy 50%, it means half the people haven't even seen it. And so if you sent them 2 and both emails are operating at 50%, it's not different 50%, but there's a wonderful follow-up tactic which might be useful if people need to transition to a slightly more aggressive follow-up, where you send your first follow-up and then you send it in the morning, and then that afternoon send it again, slightly tweaked subject line, but only to the people who didn't open the first one. Mm-hmm. So the only people who get it are the people who didn't see the last one. So then you're not annoying and harassing people because the people who opened the first one are only getting that one, for example.
I do. This is a difficult thing because lots of business owners, that business is very personal. It's very closely connected with them. People are very worried about going too far. And again, just to be clear, you got to your 6 emails in a day plus a message or whatever else from. We didn't suddenly go there we've done lots in the past to learn what works and how things happen. But the important thing for Tom is just to be doing more follow-up. And importantly, Tom, once you've had that first conversation, whether it's on the telephone or whether it's on WhatsApp, the important thing thereafter is that with every interaction with the prospects is that you're what we call closing the loop, and you're agreeing when the next conversation, because if they want some time, if they're not making a decision for 2 weeks, then chill out, Tom, and leave it for 2 weeks. Don't send them 6 emails a day. If the conversation needs to be intelligent and kind of thought through, and the campaign that you were talking about earlier is slightly different to the Tom situation, where he's got someone that's actually inquired about a marquee, because we're not suggesting that Tom should send 6 emails a day to someone that's inquired.
No, obviously not. We are not. But what we are saying is that you should look at how you can make sure you are doing enough follow-up. Yes. And we definitely shouldn't rely on email. We should definitely send them a text, ping them a WhatsApp, and find out what their preferred way of communicating is. And then use speed, be responsive. Make sure your follow-up is not just centered around you. And, a lot of people fall into the trap of saying buy now, or don't forget to show up to the call, or kind of here's your quote, and they forget to give the customer a reason to actually care about responding.
And Tom, here's a great one for you that you can utilise straight away, and to all those leads that have gone dark, that have ghosted you and disappeared. Do you want to talk about it?
3-line email,
Absolutely.
I guess.
Absolutely.
So the 3-line email is a great little reactivation campaign that you can send out to your former customers or even just prospects. And all it does is say, hello, Cameron, are you still interested in
Hiring a marquee.
hiring a marquee, whatever it is, from
Lots of love, Tom.
Elliott.
Literally, Tom, that is it. It's 3 lines. First line, hi, the prospect's name. Second line, are you still looking to hire a marquee? That's the second line. Third line is lots of love, best wishes, Tom. However you want to sign it off, Tom.
Probably not lots of love.
Okay, yeah, that's fair play. But that's the 3 lines. Tom, send it today to everyone that's inquired in the last 12 months, because you will get replies in your inbox, and some of those leads will come back to life. I promise you. Don't try and frig with it. Don't make it a 4-line email, Tom. Make it a 3-line email with and follow those 3 lines. What else Tom should do to improve his conversion? Mm-hmm. This is a conversion problem, and because he said that people think in at first, and then they disappear or go to someone that's cheaper. And what Tom should do is remove that possibility. So when you are producing the quote, if you've done the job properly in the conversation that we talked about, and understanding from their perspective and get excited about it and understand their timeline and what they're looking to do, and as part of that conversation, Tom, you should try and get some indication from them as to where, even if it's instinctive, you have some sense of where they're likely to be from a price perspective. But don't then deliver a single price point. Give them a range. So we can provide a marquee for you starting from this price, which is, there's lots of things missing.
Yeah, the budget.
We could go up to this price here, which is the absolute all singing, all dancing, all the bells and whistles. And then there's one in the middle, which is this one here. Yeah. And if you get in the habit of giving people options, you'll lose a lot less people on price, because you've got a low option and you've got a high option. And you'll find that, again, will push up your conversion rates, Tom.
Yeah, and what you'll find is that a lot of times, if you price the middle one at about the level they were looking at, then what you can do in a lot of cases, when you then talk about the higher option and what's there, people will often be like, it's too much, but I really love the idea of that little bit. You can actually start to build in some little upsells. Like, we can, let me add that there for this much.
Well, and in Tom's business, I mean, a lot of the upsells, a lot of the margin comes from the things like the furniture and the disco balls and stuff like that, and all those elements, isn't it? Yeah. Well, I think we've helped Tom quite a bit there.
It's a lot to go at.
Yeah. So you see, speed, positioning, and follow-up, Tom, was actually all the right answers.
Speaking of speed, quickly, guys, this will only take a second. If you've enjoyed this episode or any of the episodes of Business Growth Central, please leave us a comment, leave us a review, give us a rating, as long as it's 5 stars. That's what matters there. We'd really appreciate it.
It does help us, and we're trying to carve out our own little place in our little tiny quarter of the internet with Business Growth Central, and just any kind of engagement and response is really helpful. So we would be very grateful. Thank you very much indeed. We will see you same time, same place, just a few days from now.
It's on Wednesday. See you later, everyone. Bye.